Yo, what's up? This is Rob Gronkowski, and you're watching the Moneyball Channel.
So here we are with an absolute Buffalo legend. We are with Vic Carucci. If anyone doesn't know that name, longtime Buffalo, what'd you describe? Sports journalist, and yeah, just one of the best there is. I was watching a show the other day. I think it was NFL's 50 greatest plays or something.
Right?
And you pop up. And then I watched another one, and you pop up. And, just the reputation is phenomenal. How long have you been a journalist?
Yeah, so I got into this really in the my first experience of covering the NFL was in the late 1970s, but it was really something I aspired to do from age 15. So we're going way back now. I felt my initial thought was, could I play the game? Every young kid thinks grammar school or junior high school, you're going to play the game.
Sure.
I knew my limitations there pretty quickly, athletically, and I thought maybe I'd coach the game. And I knew that didn't necessarily require having to be even a good player. And some outstanding coaches, Hall of Famers, have
Absolutely.
not had great playing careers.
Yeah.
Then it was about sports writing. Back in the day, it wasn't there. You didn't have sports talk radio to the degree that anything close to what it became. And certainly, there was no ESPN. It was really print journalism, and that's what I aspired to be, because I wanted to be as close as I could ultimately to football, to the NFL. But I knew
NFL was the passion.
NFL was the passion always. I fell in love with that in the earliest 1970s. It was coming into fruition as a big, great television game.
Sure.
And it got my attention in a big, big way. And I thought, okay, this could get me closer to it. And I had seen a documentary of an LA Times sports writer, a guy named Bob Oates, the late great Bob Oates from the LA Times, who covered the Rams. And I saw a day in the life of his work. And I said, that's me. I can be that guy.
You knew right away.
And
like a light bulb went off, right?
The light bulb goes off. Now, I just had a few things to figure out, like how to write. I wasn't, really write well enough to do this, master the English language well enough to do that. And I was not advanced in any of those areas, I fully admit it, at that age. But some great mentors, teachers, English teachers in junior high school, when I shared my dream, they said, well, Vic, if you're going to do this and be serious about it, you got to buckle down, get those grades up. To be on the student newspaper, you had to carry at least a B average in English, and I think I was like a C, and I just worked at it. It wasn't like, I had some brilliant mind to do. I worked. I did it the
You were grinding. Yeah, you were grinding.
I had a grind.
Yep.
But I did have a singular vision, a goal to achieve what I hoped to achieve, and I was fortunate. It didn't happen. Nothing happens quickly, and honestly, to sit here today and think about how far this has come, I just remember at the very beginning, it was put your head down, put those blinders on, focus on the work, and then eventually, you chase that dream, and everything will follow.
Amazing answer. Really, that's inspirational just hearing it. Almost left me speechless. But yeah, listen, long time coming. Absolutely deserve this honor. Tremendous honor just, for me to shake your hand and meet you. And I'm going to ask you the same thing I ask everybody else. What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
My favorite Michael Jackson song, I got a bunch. I have a bunch.
All right, you want to go top three?
And I'm trying to,
Like I said, these are high pressure.
Billie Jean's, I'm listening to one in my head right now, but I got to think of the name of it. I could say, I'm not going to sing. But anyway,
you know what? You got a few hours to think it over.
I will. I know the song, but anyway, that Billie Jean, because of the movement and the energy, and I think that was the thing about watching Michael Jackson. We're past, obviously, but contemporaries in age, and I always said to myself, how did he and it was funny with Michael Jackson, and it was, I think, Donny Osmond.
Yep.
We're all about the same age, and I said, God, if I'm ever going to achieve anything, I'm never going to get to the level of these two dudes, and because I don't have that kind of talent. But right. I said, let me just be good at something, hopefully.
Yeah.
And it was this. And while I admired all their work from a far, far distance, doing this more than satisfactory.
You are absolutely one of the best. Thanks for taking some time with me.
Much.
Absolutely.
I am very fortunate here to have Mr. Brooks Orpik being inducted today into the Buffalo Athletic Hall of Fame. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's a huge honor, and I think I was a little caught off guard, to be honest with you. I retired from playing 5 years ago, so I think when you retire, you kind of move on to a different phase of your life, and maybe you think some of the accolades or attention is kind of off you. That being said, yeah, it's a huge honor, especially coming from the hometown that I grew up in.
So Buffalo, as of late, even myself, I've done a few interviews, Joey Muldowney, Quentin Musty. There's been a lot of Buffalo kids getting some attention. That's got to feel good, right? I mean, you were a pioneer, Patty Kane, some other guys, and it seems like as of late, the spotlight's been a little bit more on Buffalo. Do you think maybe always been there and getting noticed more now, or what would you attribute that to?
I don't know. I mean, I think growing up here, I always had a lot of guys that were kind of mentors of mine and guys that I looked up to that made me believe that I probably had a chance to play Division One. That was my goal coming out of here, and then obviously you reset your goals as you go. But I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just because there's more social media, more outlets that put attention on these guys. I think Western New York's always had a really strong coming out. It probably goes in waves a little bit, but it's definitely good to see a lot more young guys coming out of here now.
Awesome. So I have an 11-year-old that plays travel hockey. What advice could you give him in 30 seconds?
Boy. Well, I do player development with Washington now, so I work with kids a little bit older than that. Our draft picks are about 18 to 19, and there's a myriad of things I've worked with. To keep that under 30 seconds is tough. I think the biggest thing is I encourage kids to set goals, and the biggest thing is just don't have timelines associated with those goals. Everybody develops at a different pace, and there's a lot of things that are completely out of your control that factor into the timing of maybe when you advance or move on. Just being in the present. Nick Saban was a guy who I loved following. He always said, be where your feet are. It seems like a pretty simple saying, but I think it gets lost.
All right, last question for you, Brooks. I'll let you go and enjoy your evening. Your favorite Michael Jackson song? You got to pick.
Well, I just have to go with Beat It, I think.
Beat It? It's a classic.
There's a lot of them there. I was never a huge Michael Jackson fan. Yeah, I guess we'll stick with that one.
You talk about getting caught off guard, right?
Yeah, that was caught off guard.
Hey, listen, pleasure. I'm glad you took a couple minutes with me, and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it.
I'm a music guy, but that caught me off guard.
That's what I try to do. So yeah, there's just he's 11 and he's playing with the Southtown Stars. And
69 Hall of Fame. Who would that be?
Oh, he stole the question about age.
Anybody all over the nation.
All over the nation. To give that to my oldest brother. He was a baseball player here, and he's a 69 champion, that's for sure. But if we're going outside of Buffalo now, who would I give that championship to? The 69th, what is it, the 69th Hall of Famer?
69 Hall of Fame.
69th
Yeah.
Or the 69 Hall of Fame? Oh my gosh.
Big question.
That is a big question. That's a big spot.
Inducted out the gate. You're kind of like the
I am inducted out of the gate.
The OG.
You want to know who's doing pretty well is Big Cap. He's kind of a 69 champion, if you know who I'm talking about. The guy is lethal, and he just shoots off the top of his dome. I'm not sure how much he's 69ing, but he's all about talking about it. So I would put him in. And then Leif. So this question's coming from Leif. He has a cousin. His name was his wrestling name was Mojo Rawley, but he was definitely a big Zubas guy. He's definitely a 69 champion. You know, throughout his whole wrestling career. That's for sure. Leif is definitely not in the 69 Hall of Fame. Leif is not. He is not. He's weak. He's weak. I'm not lying. He's weak. He can imitate me in my laugh, but he's weak as heck. And but his cousin, I would put his childhood here. This is where I went, through all the schooling, middle school, high school. This is where I met so many lifelong friends. Going to be cherishing the whole night, bringing back so many memories. It's just an honor. In the city of Buffalo, the people here are strong. They have grit, and I've been carrying that throughout my whole entire career.
Set the tone, table, right?
It sure did. I mean, everyone from Buffalo, we're blue collar and hard workers, and I brought that mentality with me throughout my whole entire career, just to get the job done, no matter what the situation was, whatever presented. Whatever was presented in front of my face, and just that toughness as well that was instilled in me. I was always getting beat up. I had 3 older brothers. All their friends were always over at the house. But I learned here in Buffalo to never back down and to never give up. So that was installed in me as a kid, and I brought that throughout my whole career, and I believe that helped me. I loved playing in Orchard Park. It was one of my favorite experiences. Usually my favorite game of the year, coming back home. It was always a dream to be on the Buffalo Bills, that's for sure. I grew up as a Buffalo Bills fan, and then I wasn't a Buffalo Bills fan anymore. And now I'm kind of a Buffalo Bills fan again, that's for sure. So you can't take out Buffalo, only for a little bit, but you can't take it all out of me once I'm done playing. It all comes right back. But coming to Orchard Park, was one of the best experiences throughout my football career, and it always gave me that extra oomph. That's for sure. And that's why I kind of scored a lot of touchdowns here in Orchard Park, because I always knew I had to bring it, you know, that's performing in front of a lot of people that have doubted me, you know, throughout my childhood. A lot of people that were supporting me as well. You know, I kind of made promises that and quotes before that I was going to make it big time, you know, as a kid. So I had to show up when I came home and played. It was a lot of fun. And let me tell you, the Bill Stadium right there, I mean, they're getting a new one, but that one they have right now currently, one of the best atmospheres to play in. I did. I mean, I love football, that's for sure, but we're always talking about football. So let's talk about, you know, some other sports. I love playing basketball, high school basketball here. Was a pleasure, man. I mean, it was competitive, that's for sure. A lot of good teams, a lot of good players around here. I remember we had an unbelievable student section at Wellingsville North. Ran by a couple guys. The main guy was RJ Zarek. He was a huge livid sports fan, and he just loved sports. He loved everything about sports, and he created the green squall, and they just went crazy every game. It was kind of like the Duke section. Up and whatever, what's Duke's Cameron Crazies? I mean, it wasn't that crazy, but it was very similar, you know, as in high school terms. So that was a lot of fun, and we had good teams, a lot of dunks, all that good stuff. So just high school basketball was the Bills Chiefs game. Oh, all right. I mean, it's the game of the week, that's for sure. It's kind of a test for the Buffalo Bills. We know what the Kansas City Chiefs are. We know that they can win games. They can win games in any situation that's presented to them. If it's a high-scoring game, if it's a low-scoring game, Patrick Mahomes knows how to adjust to what type of game that is being played. You know, they've beaten the Bills the last couple of years. The Bills just can't get over that hump, and that's going to be a big test on Sunday. I would say the Bills would want this game. I think it helps them with the playoff seeding, and on top of it, they need to prove to themselves they can get over that hump. They just can't win that big game. If you can win that big game in the regular season, get the momentum going, they can build up that confidence going into playoffs and know that they can beat, you know, this type of team in the playoffs in the long run, because they haven't been able to do it. So it's a big game Sunday for them to start building up for the future. It's fun. Bradshaw, Michael Strahan.
This is Big D Tire. Big D Tire sells tires for less money than the competition. I cannot make it any more simple than that. Big D Tire is where you want to go to buy your tires. Moneyball highly recommends Big D Tire. Orchard Park, New York. Big D.